What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back once again, and we are finally going to be talking about episode 3, The Sin of Mandalorian. Now, if you guys have not seen chapter 3 as of yet, it just dropped this morning. I am recording this a little bit past 6:30 a.m. Now, uh, this episode was absolutely amazing due to of a lot of questions answered in a way. The Mando returns with Baby Yoda. That's what we're calling him, Baby Yoda. Um, Goes through the town and then returns him, and he sees more stormtroopers. He's looking around, and then of course we finally see where he's stating like, okay, here is, how many. He goes, how many week did you put the job on? And the one that put the bounty on the Baby Yoda states that he put pretty much as many as he could because of how priceless that the child is and was, and he finally says, "Here you go," and then he looks at the Mando and he says, "Mandalorians are very hard to come by these days," and he asks him because he's looking at Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda goes with the scientists after they confirm that he's alive and healthy, and he says, "Well, what are you gonna do with him?" And they're like, "Well, that's not your concern." So what's really interesting is he already kind of starts getting the vibe of there's something wrong due to of the way they're acting. So he goes back to getting all the credits, and then he goes to his guild. He informs the guild about how many he got, and he gets brand new armor made, as well as more of a thing called oh man, splickers or something to where we saw in I believe Rebels. I want to say we saw it in Rebels, and basically all it does is that it when it spits it out of his arm for his gadget, it basically goes right to the target, and I'll tell you about that here in a little bit more. But then he goes further into the guild, and we start seeing all the other Mandalorians, and he says, "Say some for the foundlings," which is basically who they find. Then we see a flashback to where as soon as the guild leader is making the uh, the armor, we're seeing him flashback to when he was a child, losing his parents to the Separatists, right when they attacked his home planet, I'm guessing. And we see one of the droids was killing everybody, and it looks like it was about ready to kill him, and then it just stops when the new armor gets there. And then we also find out that the Mandalorians are now in hiding. They have been in hiding for a very long time due to, they said that because, he says that one of them comes up and says it's because of the Empire that we are having to hide like rats. And the one said, "Well, this is the way, and who wants to be hunter and prey?" And he says, "Well, only one of us can go out at a time, and this is crazy." So basically, they're having to do, since the Empire took over, and if I remember correctly, they really the Mandalorians didn't really do much during the reign of the Empire, and they're now trying to rebuild their numbers, and I guess that's the reason why they've been in hiding slash only letting a few go above on this planet. Because I want to say it's a whole guild. I want to say maybe 15 members, maybe max. I could be wrong. But then you see the Mando and this other Mandalorian fight real quick, and she says, "Has anyone moved your helmet?" He says, "No." She says, "Have you ever removed your helmet?" No. That is the way of the Mandalorian. But after they get that settled, he goes to back to the bounty collector, and he's all happy, and he starts saying that, "Oh, you were the only one that were able to get this done. I gave them to everybody. You're the only one that was able to do it, and this just happens." And I'm like, he's like sitting down, and he basically says, "Okay, sit with me, my friend, sit with me," and he just tells him that he says, "Well, I want another job." He says, "No, no, no," and he starts telling him basically sit down, relax. And he says, no, I want a new job. So as soon as he goes to a new job, he asks him, well, what do you think they're going to do with the kid? He says, well, he says it's no longer your concern. He says, but if you feel that way, he says, but they work for the Empire. He says, well, if you feel that way, then report him to the New Republic. He says that's a joke. So obviously he has no love for the Empire, but he does work with them to get credits. And then also we see he has no love for the New Republic as well. And as soon as that happens, he goes to his ship. He's sporting new armor, of course, and he gets the ship running. But then he starts looking at one of the things that the Baby Yoda was looking at right when he returned to the planet, and he just makes up his mind to go save the child. So he goes onto the roof and he starts scoping, and he starts making traps to get the. This is where it all gets crazy, guys. So bear with me. He breaks open the thing we saw like in Return of the Jedi. I can't remember the name of it. The thing that pops out. He breaks that. He blows up something to get in. And he just starts nailing stormtroopers left and right. He's taking them out like literally like an assassin. I mean, this literally had like an Assassin's Creed vibe type of way that he was doing it, but it was a bounty hunter kind of way. And he takes them out, like I want to say like 5. And then he goes, finds the scientist, and the scientist says, don't shoot me, don't hurt him, he's only a child. And he says, what'd you do to him? And it's like he's scanning him because he did hear the one that was working still for the Empire as well as the scientist. He basically states, like you need to get skin cells and this, you need to finish it now. And he basically says if it wasn't for me, he'd already be dead. And he just like is hiding cowardly, and then finally he grabs the child and leaves. Well, during the way, he starts shooting his way out, and then finally he gets his way out. And what was so cool here, guys, he flamethrowed a stormtrooper. Yeah, let me rephrase that again. We got to see finally a flamethrowing of a stormtrooper, which was absolutely incredible. This is brutally something every Star Wars fans love. And he is about ready to leave. He gets cornered, and as soon as that happens, he they tell him to drop his weapon, so he does. He says, wait a minute, I'm holding very precious cargo. And as soon as that happens, he like puts it down. And then, of course, he uses his splitter. And he just gets like 4 of them all at once. And I'm like, oh man, that's badass. That's badass. And as soon as we saw that, he leaves and he's just walking. And next thing you know, it happens. It unfortunately happens. We get to see every single one of the bounty hunters that was in that cantina go after him. And then you got the head of the bounties like saying, well, you need to put the child down. He says, well, no. He says, you're going to let me go to my ship. Next thing you know, to shorten it up, there's a massive shootout in the alley. And he says, well, I'm your only hope. So again, homage to New Hope. Then he just starts taking them out as fast as he can, gets on a droid carrier, starts shooting to get to his ship, and then as soon as that happens, he gets cornered after they shoot the droid out, and he just starts shooting with his rifle, teasing some of the ones that get close to him. He tries using his flamethrower. He uses his flamethrower as much as he can, and then it just disintegrates because there's no more fuel in it. And then as soon as that happens, he's looking directly at Baby Yoda. And somehow or other, Baby Yoda just looks at him, closes his eyes, and next thing you know, you hear a pew, and it's like some guy falls, and we're like, whoa. Next thing you know, guys, we got to see something. We finally got to see live action. All the Mandalorians show up. All the Mandalorians show up on jetpacks, using flamethrowers, using blasters. Then we get to see one of the big Mandalorians haul out a freaking minigun and just starts pew 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 plowing all of them all at once. And I'm sitting there like, I got this big like, oh my gosh look on my face. Like, this is something I've wanted to see forever as a Star Wars fan because I like Mandalorian so much, and also because one of my favorite seasons was when they were on Mandalore. When Darth Maul took over. But this was so crazy, and they just start taking it over, and he says, and one of them, I guess the one that he had an issue with, he tells him, he says, go out of here, go get your ship. He says, you're going to have to, move the guild. He says, "Well, this is the way." He says, "This is the way." So he hauls it to his ship. He gets in there, and then the bounty collector says, like, Mando. And then as soon as that happens, he shoots him, gets him out, but the guy survives because he had credits right towards his chest where the blaster hit. So obviously, again, the way they're doing this is a little bit like a Western, which is perfectly fine because I like that feel to it because of the way they're doing with the alleyway shootout, and then also with, of course, with something you see in the movies from, trying to cover yourself from a blaster hit or a bullet. But then we see where he gets in his ship and he's flying, and then we see one of the Mandos with a jetpack, and he just like gives him a little salute, and then he's going, "I gotta get me one of those." So then it goes into the credits, and this episode, guys, was absolutely incredible. I'm probably gonna have to watch it again because there's so much going on in this episode. I absolutely loved it. I was firmly wanting to see more. I did not want it to stop. I did not want anything to stop because of how much I was enjoying myself. And I'm sitting there and I was like, "Oh my God, it's over! It's over!" And I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to end because I was enjoying myself so much to where I did not want it to end. It was amazing. This is probably, I want to say, my favorite episode because there's so much action. There was so much more with the Mandalorians, and obviously they have been in hiding, so they're rebuilding their order, just like the Jedi. So I really like that they put that in there. Dave Filoni as well as Jon Favreau, they've done such an amazing job with this show thus far. This is absolutely amazing. Money well spent. I have told anyone that is a Star Wars fan to watch this show because if you are a legitimate Star Wars fan, and if you're an old school Star Wars fan, like you grew up watching, episode 4, 5, and 6, and then you watch the prequels, and if you love how Star Wars was slash used to be and kind of still is in a way, then you're gonna love this show. I've been telling people that from day one. This show is gonna make Star Wars amazing again. This is breaking away from the normal Star Wars movies with Skywalker and everything of that nature, where we finally get to see something new we've always been needing and wanting within the franchise. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed the review, let me know. What did you guys think about the episode? If you guys did see it, let me know. What was your favorite part of the episode? What has been your favorite episode thus far? I'd like to know in the comments. If you guys are new to the channel, consider about subscribing. Leave answers below. Hope you guys are enjoying your day as well. Happy early Friday to you. Hope you guys are going to enjoy your weekend. Have some fun. I'm going to be doing some more videos this weekend as well as next week. Get things in order, of course, for the holidays coming up. Got some things planned. I'm trying to get ahead of my schedule. But I'm going to go ahead and get this video ready for you guys. And I'm going to wrap up the video here. And I'll be seeing you guys on the very next one.